hearing this evening. 7A, as per public notification, public comment will be taken by the Rushford City Council and the Economic Development Authority to consider granting a business subsidy loan to Rushford Hypersonic. The proposed subsidy is in the form of a $145,000 Economic Development Authority revolving loan fund for the purpose of assisting Rushford Hypersonic specifically for financing the low-scale production of products for distribution as per a pending purchase distribution agreement to be entered into with an appropriate vendor. Upon receipt of any public comments and after further discussion, the council may find it appropriate to authorize the business subsidy loan or refer the matter back to the EDA for further research. And I will take a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Hansi, second by Mr. Bunky. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the public hearing is hereby open. I'd like to call forward our EDA President, Tom Driscoll.
You want me to come up here?
Sure. Joint meeting.
It's a joint meeting. We have sufficient numbers of media members.
We have, how many? We have two of them.
Janelle and Brad.
Brad.
I'm not sure how to proceed in the hearing.
Just a very, I think for the benefit of the audience, just a very brief recap of what's being proposed
Okay.
this evening, sort of how we got here, and then we'll open it up for public comment.
I'll point out a couple of important people here. There's Jay and Jack and Kevin, who've all, in one way or another, sat in on talks and negotiations following Rushford Hypersonic approaching the EDA with a very formal application proposal for this loan. As Chris pointed out when he read the details there, it's for a very specific low-volume production project that will take place. It will be mounted in the next 90 days, and the drill bits in this case will be produced in the following 90 days. So this $145,000 is aimed dead on at that project. And I should open this a little bit and let Jay and Jack explain it, but early in the negotiations, we asked for a letter of intent from Fastenal to state their intention to distribute these drill bits. We got that, and then we put 1,000 questions to these folks. And though the answers were all, sometimes difficult, we got answers to everything that we asked. We were shown every document that we asked to see, and our confidence continued to grow. Then we got down to, in the last probably 2 weeks, serious negotiations about the terms of the contract. We have, as you know, we're servicing a lot of flood-based, post-flood loans that used revolving loan money, and we have learned some lessons in dealing with the experience of the troubles that some of these companies, the troubles and successes, frankly, too, that some of these companies have had. And it was our feeling that a conventional interest-bearing EDA business subsidy loan was not the right tool, the right instrument for this. So we, in order to secure this loan, we negotiated a 2% lien against primary shares of the company. These would be the non-subordinated shares. This lien will act to secure the loan until until both notes are paid off, because there was the previous loan. And then,
Excuse me, Tom. Jay,
Yes.
Could you come forward to the table?
Yes.
We're gonna get to you eventually, so might as well come up. Thank you very much.
And if I'm getting any of this wrong, please don't hesitate to correct me, because it is complicated. There's a lot of little details, but I'm just giving you the rough outlines here before turning it over to Jay. The 2% lien, we feel, is a solid guarantee that sort of reinforces the collateral that was put against the first note, which was a $500,000 loan that has been in forbearance now for some time. The final element then, this is a non-interest bearing loan. When both notes are paid back, that will trigger a royalty payment. We have decided, and the EDA has supported this unanimously, to tie our return on this investment to the success of hypersonic rather than a demand for a payment. So there is a foreclosure agreement involved, or not foreclosure, but a forbearance agreement involved in the note or in the agreement, and there is a royalty clause that on the repayment of the notes for the 10 years following this repayment, we get 3 cents per drill bit produced at hypersonic. And this is all, Jay can get into the numbers, but they're not inconsequential numbers. We're not talking about 100, we're talking about hundreds of thousands. And we are also satisfied after negotiations that by comparing it to an amortized loan, that we would get the equivalent, if not more than, the interest that we would get on a conventional loan. Okay, there's more details, but I don't want to dominate this.
Yeah, Jay, you might, this is a public hearing, so the public needs to be sure that they hear what you have to say.
And any question, before we go on, any public questions about what I've just said?
Do you have the financial end of it? Is it been okayed by a bank? Where are you coming from?
Oh, okay, let me back up some. Our attorney, Jerry Chigwell, has been involved in these talks. There is no bank involved, because the bank, we are but for financing, which is the EDA catchphrase for but for us. This couldn't happen, because Roger, it's a risky venture, obviously. But we have, after studying it and drilling, Jay, I don't know how many hours of meetings we've had, but for 12, 15 hours of meetings, going, not one big session, but bring us this, let's look at this, let's look at that. And not to mention 2 presentations before the EDA. Not just myself, but I think the whole EDA, and not to speak for Steve, but I think the administrator was also positive about this, that given the precarious situation of hypersonic, Wayne moving forward with a positive and potentially a very lucrative, successful project with the assurance from Fastenal that these robots will be distributed, and given the testing that has been done on the previous bids, that this is a better alternative than doing nothing and just waiting to call in the note and seize and collect.
But how many times have we heard the same story? Over and over.
I don't think you've ever heard this one, Rocky, with all due respect.
Not this one, but the financial end of it.
Well, I'll let Jay field some of the financial questions.
This is some really amazing and wonderful. Can everyone hear me, or should I stand back? Technology. For the past 6 years now, Hypersonic has been developing technology to create nanoparticles that we then apply to surfaces. In this case, we're talking about drill bits. And the results of this are really amazing. So if a